They saw the place where the possible met the impossible and moved toward it. They walked for many an hour and many a day, until, finally, they crossed the edge of paradox. Greetings, and welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I am Jim, your friendly Lacuna GM. I use he, him pronouns, and this is our Invisible Sun campaign, The Edge of Paradox. Invisible Sun is a surreal slice-of-life game by Monte Cook Games. We are integrating the directed campaign, but most of this game happens spontaneously. We're going to go ahead and go around and see who we all have today and who we're playing. And starting once again with Djinnaya. Hello!
Hello, my name is Djinnaya. I use she, her pronouns, as does my character Shah Gamelan, who is an established gallant of the Order of Makers who cages adversaries.
Excellent, excellent. And now let us head over to Wilde. Hello.
Hello, I'm Wilde at Long Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. He, they pronouns. I am playing Chantanel.
Excellent, excellent. Hmm?
There it is. An itinerant empath of the Order of the Apostate who splinters into fragments. They go by they, them pronouns.
Excellent, excellent. He says adjusting audio levels. There we go. And now let us head over to Arras. Hello.
Hello. Hi, I'm Arras. My pronouns are she, they, and just with everything.
So, yeah. So, unfortunately, this evening we have determined that for those of you who are listening in, that unfortunately Arras is having internet issues this evening, so you may have trouble hearing. So unfortunately, we didn't catch most of that, anything about the character, but it is written there. Did you want to try the character intro again?
I tried again. I'm playing a rose an aromatic empath apostate who converses with everything. Her pronouns are she, her.
Excellent. Yes, we that started clearing up toward the end, so that is good. That is good. And we shall continue to deal with life as it happens this evening. But then let us head over to Anino. Hello.
Hi, my name's Anino. I use he, him pronouns. I play Mac the Husk, the established ardent of the Order of the Goetica, who provides a vessel for spirits in they, them pronouns.
Awesome. Unfortunately, Danielle is not with us this evening, so Ramira is going to be retreating back into the gray for the nonce. Let me go ahead. And also, as we were dealing with technical stuff and life stuff, as is no doubt tell, we've gotten off to a bit of a late start this evening, so we're probably not going to go quite as long tonight as we typically do. You know, and also as we continue to have to see about technical issues and what have you. We shall try to get something in here for a bit. Let me go ahead and once again mention that, like we do with the other games on this channel, we're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. So if we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or hold up a card or make an X symbol, and we'll go back and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we can put an O in the chat to let us know we're okay and that we're all good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think, maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain body horror, surreal imagery, spiders, snakes, and references to memory loss, death, and existential crises. And at any time, you can type !ISCW, and that will be displayed. Also, please remember we have an open door policy, which means any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It's just a game, and mental health is always more important. And so, basically, last time, what happened. So Shah and Mac and Vor spoke for a little while to a spirit that Mac had summoned. That spirit being Jaranuth. Let me actually just check something here real quick. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, we will not be able to bring you Arras's captions this evening once again due to internet. Let us continue. So they talked to Jaranuth about mainly about just sort of the stuff what was going on in town, with these creatures known as the Insidious, and that they were essentially they have taken the Sistruris Queen as their patron, as has the Vizsla known as Balak. They were able to Jaranuth was able to confirm that for them. They asked Jaranuth to find the names of the royal breed. The three main ones that they have to take out of the Insidious, the suggestions that they placed in people's heads around town. Figure out where those suggestions were located, because it's those suggestions, if allowed to go on long enough, eventually will become new Insidious. That's kind of how they procreate. And so Jaranuth had explained that, okay, I can do this, but if I do this, then you'll probably gain the attention of the Sistruris Queen. And they were like, go ahead. And so that is what Jaranuth did. Jaranuth went ahead and gave them the names of the three people who'd been infected with the royal brood. Those names were Mayor Tambly, Goodman Grodin, who runs the inn that they're currently in, and Good Person Che. Also, Goodman Grodin had invited them down to take a little tour of the area, so we'll find out. We'll find out what's happening. Well, that may have been cut short, and we'll explain why in a moment. Meanwhile, Eroshka took the mayor's dog Niles on a little walk while Shantano had a brief chat with the mayor. Mayor got some tea for Shantano. Shantano had a moment to interact with Murder, the anthropomorphic manifestation of murder in this world, or a being that kind of is representational of it. Murder gave some sort of signals that were trying that had to do with something going on in the mayor's kitchen. When I think initially when Chantineau was speaking to Murder appeared next to them because Chantineau had asked, should I drink the tea? And then Murder had kind of placed their hand on the teacup and set it down. Just sort of as kind of an indicator there. Yeah, then there was, Aroshka also had the opportunity, both Chantineau and Aroshka had the opportunity to observe the mayor having, just sort of behaving as though she was fighting something in her head, or arguing with something in her head. Of course she came back in, and, basically was doing everything she could to cut things short at that point. Seemed once again to be struggling, especially when the subject of making people drink tea came up. So they said, hey, can we do this tomorrow? The mayor asked, can we have tea tomorrow, please? And so they sort of, both Chantineau and Aroshka left at that point and headed back to the Miss Maid's, the inn. Where Mac was in the process of summoning yet another spiritual entity, and so that was getting ready to happen, sort of as that entity was appearing upstairs. This was when downstairs Chantineau and Aroshka were interacting with Goodman Grodin, who had was basically was going to let them sign the book, but they did not give the Goodman the names that had been put in the book, and so was sort of asking them, okay, no, it's five personal a night, and Aroshka wanted to see what was on the next page, so so Grodin had his hand on the book, and Aroshka just sort of at that point cast a little spell that puts a mouth on the on something that will bite anything that's that's touching it, so the mouth that was on that page bit Grodin. Grodin was like, ah, and was then bleeding, Aroshka quickly turned the page and looked and saw the five names that had been put in there, that basically was where things had left off. The being that appeared in Mac's summoning circle at that point sort of heard that and was just after saying, well, this had better be good, and then there was a scream, indicating that perhaps it will be. So that is where we currently are. We have Goodman Grodin screaming in pain, currently dealing with very surprised about something, his hand just having been bitten. And at this point is when Vor, upon hearing that, just immediately sort of fades back out into the gray. Perhaps just not wanting to deal with this right now. So what's happening? What are we doing now?
I've hurriedly switched the page as if I did nothing.
Oh, so we put the page back as though nothing has happened?
Yep.
Okay. So that's happening down there. Yeah, it is fair to say that Goodman Grodin is somewhat distracted right now. Have you dropped the spell, or is the spell still running?
Yeah, no, I got what I wanted. It's gone now.
Okay.
I didn't mean to injure him. He's just, there was mention of like a finger bitten off, and it was like, oh, I didn't mean it for that.
Yeah. So, basically, Grodin is still kind of just like, and Eldon and Julian, who were two remarkably, who were two somewhat similar looking people, run into the room and they're like, "Wait, what's happening? What's happening?" And they're looking at his hand and they're sort of trying to calm him down. What are the folks up in the room doing right now?
So we hear the scream, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Mac was still dealing with the ice jaguar.
Excellent. Yeah. So the ice jaguar is like, is it about something related to things going on in this building?
Yes, in fact. I just have a feeling that I may be outnumbered here. There are nightside creatures, which I do not have the ability to deal with on a personal level, and could use assistance.
Ah, I see. Assistance of the sharp, gnashing, icy teeth kind? Is that what we're looking for?
Yes, actually. Are you familiar with nightside creatures? They seem to be very thought-provoking.
Oh yes, I've run into them a time or two.
Well, I just need one alive, but the rest are, they're a menace to this village, and I think we would do well to just eliminate them.
I see. So you would like me to set to hunting them down?
Yes, and watching our backs.
And what do I get out of it?
What do you want?
That's an excellent question. I'm going to draw a card now. We are currently on the Pale Sun, and now we are moving over to something else, perhaps. Let me see. We're going to move on to the Indigo Sun in a moment. Let me go ahead and, once again, double-check my map of the universe to see if I'm laying an indigo on an indigo, or if this is, or if it is not that. Let me see. Nope, I'm laying indigo on gray. Okay, that's fine. So let's see. We have, let me grab the card here. This is going to be card number 40. It is the fleeting moment, which is popping up for us again. I think this has come up not too long ago. But as we reshuffle every time we do this. And remember, there is still an on the Invisible Sun, everyone still has a +1. Unless you have a +2, which is if you have a heart associated with visions. But fleeting moment. Let me go ahead and pull that up in here. Time moves inexorably forward. Sometimes it moves so quickly that we lose track of it. We try to watch, we try to pay attention, and yet it's gone. Mercurially, it slips through our fingers. Time can move so rapidly, in fact, that we can lose time. Look at the clock. It's 6:22. Look again, seemingly a moment later, and it's 8:05. They say, I'm very familiar with that phenomenon. They say that there was once an hour that came after midnight, but eventually it moved so quickly that it disappeared altogether. If that's true, perhaps it's the fate of all time, and the midnight hour will flit away next. Time is elusive and impossible to hold, no matter how you try. It's a force even the gods fear. In divination, quick and decisive reaction is the advice suggested by this card. the implication is that something is going to happen. It's going to happen soon, and it's going to happen fast. One must be ready. This could be a threat, or it could be a valuable opportunity. Either way, one has to react to it with agility, physical, mental, or both, or this elusive event will flitter away, leaving only its results behind to show that it ever happened. That ever even happened. So, yes, I think that that's so what the Ice Jaguar is going to say. Did we ever say the Ice Jaguar's name by any chance? Do you know?
Let me see if I wrote that down in my notes. Evilise, I believe. Evilise.
Okay. Evilise. So the Jaguar will sort of turn their head and just be like, time would be good. We're in south of Indigo, yes. After I am done carrying out this missive, I should like an hour to roam around.
In my vessel?
Oh, no. Just out and about.
He's just gonna shrug. Done.
Excellent. Right. So shall I get to searching, or is there something more immediate you want me to attack?
I believe there is something downstairs that is likely going to be combative.
Excellent. And there is this sort of suggestion where I guess the question is, yeah, right now the spirit is manifesting just directly to Mac, but I think is not making any qualms about being visible to anyone else. But I'm going to say you can kind of sort of you have input here. Do you want other people to be able to see the spirit right now, or would you prefer it remains cloaked?
Cloaked, preferably.
Okay. All right. So it'll be so it will vanish apparently, but you can still see it. And it's sort of it's ready to go as soon as you want to let it out of the circle, basically.
Oh, yeah. So Mac is just going to scuff the circle with his toe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it's going to bolt out, and the door will burst open, and it will start bounding down the stairs. So
I think Shaw was moving to like sneak down the stairs and just kind of jumps out of the way and is like,
okay.
Oh, okay. I guess that's what we're doing.
Okay, what's happening downstairs? Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, I probably should have given them more instructions, but
I mean, cats. Do they ever listen?
not particularly.
And so what's happening downstairs, by the way?
Well, I'm definitely making noises in the like concerned noises, sort of like, "Oh my gosh, what happened? Are you okay?"
to try in an effort to convince him that it was not you that just did this, presumably.
Yeah.
Shantanu, what are you doing right now?
Shantanu's just looking on in amusement as he's being bitten by this book. What is it? Is it the book they're being bitten by, or?
Yeah, I gave the book a mouth, which then proceeded to bite the dude because he was near it and he wasn't me.
Excellent.
And then made the mouth go away because, oh gosh, who knows what just happened? Oh.
So Goodman Grodin is a. Let me look. So to kind of, I think this is basically the sort of the target of this is going to be Goodman Grodin. Goodman Grodin is you're trying to kind of calm down. They are wrapping his hand, and he's probably preparing to be accusatory about what just happened. So you're attempting to calm him down. He has a level 4. So what are you bringing to bear on this one?
Well, I have level 1 charm or persuasion.
Okay, so is that the same skill or are those 2 different skills?
They're 2 different skills. It's just I'm not sure what the difference is in this case. I think charm is like I can be very charming, and persuasion is like I can sway people to my opinion.
I feel like for the way you've been describing it thus far, I think charm is probably because you don't seem to be necessarily directly persuading, right?
Yeah, I'm not like I'm not actively trying to convince him I didn't do anything. I'm just sort of acting as if I have no idea what went on.
Awesome. So that'll knock it down to a 3. And,
I don't think I have anything else useful. I guess I could spend.
Yeah, it just depends on if you want to spend anything or whatnot.
I could spend an interaction point, I guess, or doing.
Yeah, you totally could. If you want to do that.
Let's do that.
Okay, that would knock it down to a 2.
Okay, and then what am I need to roll? Just 1d10?
Yeah,
D10?
just 1d10 6. Unless you're using magic.
No.
7. Okay. So that succeeded by a great margin.
I am so charming.
So you basically are able to put on this appearance as though you look completely innocent.
Wow.
Right now, it seems as though you're genuinely concerned about what has happened to this poor man's hand. And genuinely confused about anything weird that might have been happening with the book. So So Grodin is right now, the immediate reaction, Grodin is like, alright, it's... Alright, no, the finger's still on, I guess it's alright, it's... I don't know what happened there, someone's been... This kind of thing happened around Vizli a lot, they bring magic in and stuff like this just sort of happens randomly?
Yeah, it can be a little weird sometimes. I'm gonna sort of look at Snow like...
just not, this book has not behaved that way before. But,
I certainly hope it's not usually in the habit of doing whatever it just did.
I'm not sure what just happened, but there's... You seem to...
come across some books with a mind of their own, so... Not too
true.
It's happened.
Well, it's no harm done. More or less at this point, I would like Mac to be aware that a simple query has been sent your way by Evelise, and that question is, so any targets in here? In this situation? I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was told the innkeeper was rather suspicious.
Ah. Shall I go for the innkeeper?
I want to see if you could possibly draw out the insidious that might have bonded to his mind or something.
All right, I'll investigate. Insidious. Okay, I think I see. I think I understand the kind of creature you're talking about. All right. And Mac will note that the creature does so. Ivelisse does not attack Grodin, but starts stalking toward Grodin and just kind of sniffing around, sort of investigating at this point.
In my head, this is just this big giant spirit cat, and it's like stalking, and then it does that little butt wiggle thing that cats do.
Kind of, yeah. It's this cat that's very. It jumps up onto the counter. This big ice jaguar jumps up onto the counter and is now like. And Mac is the only one that sees that. But yeah, Shaw, you come down this. You're sort of coming down the stairs. Also, you see the tableau in front of you of you see Shantanu and Eroshka, and you see you see Grodin kind of sort of looking at his hand. His hand's been getting bandaged, and you know, and his two assistants are there.
I will walk into the room and make eye contact as best as I can with Eroshka and Shantanu and be like, "Oh, Mr. Glass, Miss Smith, you've arrived."
Oh yes. I'm gonna turn to Grodin again and be like, I guess I didn't realize friends gave our pen names.
Oh, you're writers.
Yeah.
Oh. I see. And
I mean, of course, I was going to give our pen names. I mean, we are here, sort of on business, you know, updating our travel log.
Yes.
Oh, yes. We had another. We had some. Yes, we had another visitor who did that come through a few years back. Trying to remember. Do you know her? It's sort of a squid thing going on.
Oh, Araya.
Araya, yes, I think that was the name.
Yes, very gifted writer. Wouldn't you agree? I say to like anybody nearby me.
Nodding vigorously.
Yes, definitely one that we would consider our utmost peer.
Oh, I see. Right, okay. Well then, had to just deal with this. Seems to be, occasionally there's, I presume that, you occasionally have noted that sometimes, yes, when visitors come through town, random things start happening. It's, you might want to be careful around the logbook.
Oh, well.
It seems to be, hungry.
Oh. Well, luckily we've already checked both of you in,
people.
so you shouldn't need to do that.
Yes.
Yes. And he'll sort of say, "All right, so I take it you come down for the tour?" He so says more to Shaw and Mac.
Oh yes, I'm very curious to see the rest of this village at night.
I like adjust the spot where my battle fan is kind of tucked into my corset in the back and go, "Yes, definitely."
Yeah, Mac is adjusting the hidden knives in his sleeves. Yeah.
A walk sounds lovely.
And so it's like, right, well then, if anyone wants to go on the little tour that wants to follow me, I'll take us out. And he sort of nods to Julian, who's going to take over at the desk. And he's going to come around the desk, and he's going to grab his coat. And sort of lead the way out for anyone who wants to go on the tour. I will say, as that is happening, Evelise will come back up to Mac, and we'll just sort of say, there's a suggestion, one of their brood in his head that has been planted. I have the scent of it now, so I can attempt to track down the one who placed it there. If you wish me to extract the suggestion itself, then that might be possible, but that would require somewhat more direct action.
Let's just try to track the original brood for now, but we're about to go on a tour, so perhaps if you can follow me on this tour, and then if the scent of the original brood leads you elsewhere, just indicate the direction.
Very good. And he'll begin prowling along behind you. You'll notice sort of when he passes by, he was close to Grodin, and sort of passes by. Grodin does feel this sort of like, it gets a little chilly. It's like, it's funny, it should be warmer out, but it's part of the reason why he grabbed his coat. So occasionally people will feel a little bit of a chill as a spirit they cannot see passes nearby them. This spirit in particular. So Grodin will lead you folks out, and let me go ahead and look at the map again real quick, so that I have that in front of me. The map of beautiful Yestervale. Let me see if I can actually... Do I have it down here? I do have it down here. Let me also... so that I can show it to folks, but I'm gonna, real quick, before I do that, let me also... put in that window the caption window, so folks can see that whilst we are talking about that. Nothing fancy. I'm just gonna set it up real quick so that it's down here where folks can kind of view it. Yeah, that'll be fine. Okay. So yeah, basically, as you're sort of looking over, you see that you're very close to Mist Maids, which is the first stop is going to be right next door where the blacksmith shop is. But he's probably gonna end up doing a circuit that's kind of clockwise to some of the major points. It's not going to be too wide a thing. It's probably just something that sort of it's like down to the red thistle into the square and then back is probably what the overall route is going to be. But he's going to take you along the outskirts, sort of on the north end, so you can kind of see into other areas first also. But in general, when he sort of is heading toward the blacksmith shop to just sort of out by right next to this building, he just sort of looks and he says, "Now, something I don't... now, of course, something I didn't immediately mention is that I'm also the town blacksmith. And I meant to ask you, actually, as he's reminded, he's sort of approaching the area of the blacksmith shop. It's this low, very rustic-looking wooden, sort of box-looking wooden building with sort of an open side to it. Looks at Shaw, says, by the way, I did mean to ask, is that your own work?
It is. It is. I didn't realize you were a blacksmith.
Oh, indeed. It's, I meant to mention it before. It's very good. It's exquisite stuff.
Thank you.
And I'd be rather curious as to the technique you used, if it's something that's replicable without magic.
Well, I mean, the basic forming of it, of course, is. Although I do find that the metal is a little bit more forgiving when you can see it from the inside out. But I work with hammer and fire, just like you.
Oh, indeed. Well,
I mean, the magic is in the making.
Agreed. Would you like to see the forge?
I would love to.
And he's looking up at the sky. He's like, yeah, we got a couple of minutes. And he starts heading that way. And as you're approaching the forge, Jim is going to draw another card real quick. Because he half has an idea of how he wants to do this, but I half have an idea. Why am I speaking of myself in the third person? I do that way too often. But I just wanted to want to just get a little bit of further input from Fate here. So let's see, the card that I have drawn. This is going to be card 30. Card number 30, the Messiah. And many fear change. Others embrace it eagerly. Often, not always, but often, the former live happy and satisfying situations, while the latter do not. In other words, the change is a salvation that not everyone needs. The Messiah is the defender of the Visions family. She defends by changing the things that threaten or menace. As a defender, the Messiah is particularly concerned with families and the bonds of love that exist there. In divination, first and foremost, the Messiah portends change. The source of the change is almost certainly external to the person in question. More often than not, this is a positive change, and in fact, the worst things are for the person, the more likely that the change will be positive. The Messiah can indicate the involvement of a beloved family member, like a parent or sibling. This involvement is not always positive. So yeah, things are changing. Okay. And that's the difference. So we're keeping the Indigo Sun, but it's the Defender. So let me once more also check the check me little reference document here. So I can see on Defenders, +2 to all actions if heart matches family, and so that's so it is the Defender of Visions. So right now, anyone who has a heart matching, so everyone's at a default of +1. Anyone who currently has a heart matching Visions has a +4 right now during this scene to things that they would like to do. So we have that. So as we are kind of entering here, let's see. The Forge. Yeah, so I think that as you sort of will go in, you'll see that there are a lot of things, they're not exactly in they're not in what I would call disarray. But you can see that there's been a lot that has been moved around. You see that there's been a lot of recent work here. As you sort of walk in, you see he's got sort of the standard sort of anvil and kiln set up, and you know, these sort of troughs for water and what have you. And also, though, in the back it looks like previously a lot of it was, you know, sort of farm implements were there. A lot of things that sort of involve, you know, mining tools. And you see that there are a lot more mining tools that have recently been made. And also it looks like weaponry. Is a little bit of weaponry. It looks like he's got a like a long knife that is currently on the that has been is currently set to cool. It looks like it's been cooling, and Shaw, you can tell it's been cooling for a few hours now. So it's like almost there. And I think that Mac, you will note that this ice jaguar does not want, kind of is like hesitant to go in to the forge, perhaps because of the heat, but they are sort of like I think there's one in there.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
It's lurking at the back under a pile of things, I think. Sort of peeking in.
You hang tight here. Let me see if I can flush it out.
Gets ready. So what do you folks? So you folks have a moment if you want to look around the shop. And he's sort of Grodin is going in, talking a little bit about some of the process. He's starting to talk shop a little bit because he doesn't usually have someone to talk shop with. So he's sort of immediately fallen into this mode.
Yeah, I mean, neither do I. So I think Shah is just eating it up. You know, interesting choice on the hammers, and but I think she'll notice the shift in production and look at the knife and say, that knives in Yesterdale. It's rather unusual. Do you have a client from out of town?
He sort of is looking down at the knife. Let's see. He says, "Oh, well, you know, it's fun. I must have. I'll have to check my log on it, but I'm quite sure this is definitely my work, but I can't remember why I started doing it immediately."
Interesting.
No, I'm sure it must have been for a client.
Is it ready for pickup? Like, can someone pick it up?
And he sort of uses his hand on it. He sort of looks at it. No, it's a little warm, but I mean, someone could. I'd recommend it not. It still be, you know, set to finish cooling before use, if one wants to get the maximum amount of usage out of it.
Oh no, he's just going to pick it up and give it a good look over, and he's going to subtly point it at the corner that the Evilise was indicating, and give Shaw a very long, pointed look.
Oh no. Okay. trying to think how Shaw would interpret that. I think that her eyes will definitely go towards the corner. And then she'll take maybe a step or two towards the corner. And then on her way to, as she turns her head to make more conversation about tools, she'll kind of raise an eyebrow to Mac, like, do you want me to go to this corner?
He just, you see him sort of just imperceptibly shake his head and maybe try to signal potential danger.
Got it.
He'll sort of brandish, he'll brandish the blade in like a defensive manner.
Yeah, that's expressible. She will. My eyes go a little bit wide, and I say, "Oh, well, that's very interesting. What about these over here?" And then she'll move over so that she's got the anvil between her and that corner, and point at something and say, "Oh, this was an interesting. The decision to do cold forming here instead of hot forming. Tell me about that."
Oh, certainly. He's very willing to talk to you about it, because he is enraptured by this a little bit, as he's looking at it. What? So you have him distracted at the moment.
Yeah, if I can casually work it into conversation, I'd like to pull out my battle fan and just in the way of pointing at different attachments and different additions that I've made to it, so that it is in my hand.
Yeah, definitely. Well, yeah, if you're talking about the he's fascinated by it. So he will be looking at it. And you have a perfect opening to talk about it because there's a weapon right there that he's just made. But yes, I'm sorry. What's everyone else doing?
Did anybody else pick up on Mac's subtle cue? No? Nobody else?
Probably not.
Okay.
Do any of the objects in this shop have anything interesting to say to Aroshka?
Oh, yes.
In fact, maybe Mac is just going to suddenly slide the new blade over to Aroshka. and just be like, oh, I bet this tells a good story.
Yeah. The blade's like, I am... So the blade is, this is a new blade, so it's still fairly, it's still fairly young, I guess, in its consciousness. Aroshka, it's sort of like, who are you?
I assume all of these conversations take place in my head and not out loud, and I'm not suspiciously whispering to the side, but I'm just gonna be like, oh, I'm Aroshka, I'm like a friend.
I am still learning who is a friend and who is a foe. There are foes about. Apparently. There are foes about. And I was made to dispatch foes.
What kind of foes? We have foes about as well, so just maybe they're the same foes. Help each other.
Well, Grodin made me, and then...
Did he forget about the foes?
I think so. Because then it seemed less urgent. In the early stages, it seemed very urgent, but then he sort of fell into less urgency when completing me.
We think these foes can alter memories and stuff. So I think they got to him.
Oh. Oh, well. Huh. Do you know what kinds of foes these are?
Like evil shadow bugs. That sound right?
Oh, I thought those were guests. Those are foes?
Yeah, they're from, the dark side.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
they get in people's brains.
Oh, there are a few in the. Yes, there's one. There's one in here right now.
Oh. Where is it?
Brief note. Where is everyone standing currently inside this this place? It's fairly. It's not big. This shop. Sort of a rectangular shape. As I sort of described, you've got the making stuff on one end and the stuff that is made on the other end, and on that end is when there are piles of things. Where is everyone in here? Just out of curiosity.
Well, I'm standing next to the anvil on the other side from the corner.
Mm-hmm.
Is there an off-limit section?
Sean knows off in what section?
Like, is there like an off-limit section, or like an area that's like?
Oh well, yeah. I mean, there's not really what looks like an off-limits per se section, but there does look like. I mean, kind of. It looks like there's stuff that's being made for that was being made for clients on the far end, where there's like piles of picks and stuff like that. So that's kind of that would be the closest to to what you're looking for, probably. So you're probably so you think you're over in that part of the room?
Yeah, probably looking at the stuff.
Yeah. Okay. And is Mac also by the anvil, or is Mac somewhere else in the room?
Yeah, Mac is by the anvil. Also, his back is sort of to Shaw's back, just so that nothing is going to try to sneak up on him. Hopefully.
Yeah. And Harushka, or where are you?
I guess I'm standing near Mac because Mac slid the knife over in my direction subtly.
The knife whispers to Harushka. Oh, I believe it's over there crawling up the wall behind your friend.
Oh. Which friend?
The one over by the picks and the horseshoes.
Oh, I'm going to sort of try to casually tug.
Sort of indicating Sean to know.
Sort of I casually try to tug Shantano over /
as you
pointed head motions.
As you look over at Shantano, you see in the darkened corner where there's this big pile of picks, you see this dark bug-like thing crawling on the wall. It looks like it's getting closer to Shantano.
Mac is going to attempt to take the blade from Aroshka, and he is going to throw it at that darkened shape.
All right. So this the insidious. Let's see. Right. So. Yes. The insidious is level 6. So that's what you're trying to, what you're up against here. What do you want to bring into it?
We are going to use Mac's martial arts skill. That's a level 2.
Okay.
And
It's down to 4.
we will use a accuracy beam.
Okay.
Does it help that the knife is sort of on our side? Slash was created to fight these things.
Yes. Actually, this knife was constructed specifically to for the purpose of fighting these things. So actually, I'm going to give you that. Also, remember, you have a +1, so it's actually down to 1. And if you have a, you might have more if you want to privately tell me if you have a heart associated with visions, but you have at least one or better.
With visions, you say?
Yeah.
No, mine is notions, I believe.
Okay. So you're down to, so it's down to 1 right now. 1 or better.
Okay. We'll just roll that.
Okay. That is
We've
a
got
3.
a 3.
That is better than 1.
Okay. So I should note that Mac has a secret.
Oh yeah.
And his secret is lethal lore, which means whatever attack he does, it inflicts +3 damage. So
Well,
Is that if you use your secret? Or is that just standing?
I think that's just standing. So any attack that you make against a single target inflicts +3 damage. Any attack against multiple targets inflicts +1 damage against each target.
I remember when you got this. Yes, it is. He's a heck of a, if I recall correctly. Okay. So yeah, that's.
So then, how much does I guess it's how much damage does the knife do?
So the knife is gonna. I think it's a knife. It's gonna do like 2 damage. Because
So 5 in total.
Yeah. So you get this thing dead center.
Yeah.
It is. Just fling it, and it's just like just stuck in the wall. And you hear this. Let me check something. Let me check something. Because of this specific one. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah. So when you do this, this loud keening comes out. And Grodin grabs the sides of his head. As this happens, he's like, "Ah!" And seems to be like
I
little
will
bit
immediately
busy.
step back, getting ready for him to go rabid.
Yeah, he at this point, the moment that happens, he's like, "Ugh," and he's jerking almost. It's not quite puppet like, as he has this very strong suggestion. He's now sort of jerking over toward, reaching over to grab a poker.
Nope. Can I clock him with a? I don't know. I don't want to cut his head off or anything, but can I hit him with my fan in some way that's?
Yeah, the fan has.
If it's folded up, isn't it?
Yeah,
like a
yeah.
club?
I'll just I'm just gonna smack him and see if I can knock him out.
All right. So let's see. Once again, looking this over, Grodin is.
So is that still? Oh. Nothing.
Oh.
Different creature.
Okay. He's level 4. He has a +1 to withstand. So it is to withstand finish. So he does have a +1 to withstand physical punishment. So it is going to be a 5 right now or better. And what would you like to throw at it?
Okay. Well, my battle fan is a +2. And I would like to use is that physicality or accuracy? Probably physicality because I'm wabbing him.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. That brings it down to 3. I'm gonna spend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use my expansive endeavor and spend 2 to bring it down to 1.
Remember, actually, also that you might not have to because you're getting a +1 in this scene anyway.
Oh, all right. Okay. Well, I like rolling, so I'm gonna roll.
Certainly.
Because random is fun. Watch me roll a 1. Hey, it's not a 1.
That is better than a 1. So yes, and you're just trying to knock him out, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. No, you clock him with the side of this, and he's like, ah! And he falls into the trough. He falls into the water trough. His head does not, so he's not going to drown. But yes, he is now unconscious in the water trough.
I would like to immediately turn on any lights that are in here as bright as they can possibly be.
Yeah, well, there's some lamps in here.
Yeah, and I can pull open the forge so that the light from the forge comes out.
Oh, sure, absolutely.
In the meantime, I think Mac is going to try to pick the guy up out of the water trough and drag him out closer to the door where Evilise might be able to investigate.
Yes, so you pull him out, and Evilise like, you got him, I see.
Oh, did I?
Oh. Oh, right. And starts sniffing around. What are Shantanu and Eroshka doing right now?
I feel like I'm probably telling the knife it did a good job.
Okay. Good knife. Good one.
That would work.
You probably didn't even have a handle when Mac threw it, so. Mac's like, oh, I think I would like to keep that knife.
I asked the knife if it would like to stay with that nice person that just threw it.
I think I was thrown very expertly. That was very good.
The knife thinks you're really good at knife throwing.
Oh, thank you. I tried.
We should put a hilt on it for you, though, at least. I mean,
Would
maybe
you
not
be
right
willing to
now.
Well, no, but if you would put a hilt on it, I will. In exchange, I will cut a deal with an angel to bring you coffee every morning.
Okay. Sure. I will definitely. It will be so balanced. So balanced.
Excellent.
What
I
brand
know
of
they like
coffee?
visiting your place, so I don't think it'll be very hard.
Yeah.
I mean, your deals are consensual, right? It won't be upset about bringing me coffee.
Oh, no, not at all.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. That would be wonderful. I think that despite like the level of disaster that is happening in the room, Shaw just kind of starts poking around in the room, looking for various materials that might be really good for putting this all together.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he's got hilts here. He was planning to finish the knife at some point. So. I'm sorry, Shantano, was there something you were also doing? We might have cut you off there, but.
So we all after stabbing it, we can all see the bug, right?
Yes, it's right there, stuck to the wall.
I guess I'll start examining the bug.
You want to check it out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is quite deceased. I think that was definitely, unless Mac wanted to do something clever to keep it from dying, then in their throw, then this thing is probably no longer with us.
You only need one bug. It's fine.
Yeah, it'll be okay. It's very much there. So yeah, it's this. So it's starting to turn slightly less shadowy and look a little bit more millipede-y. Sort of a little grayer. It's still very dark, but yeah, it's. What sort of, are you looking for anything in particular, or you just want to examine just see what it looks like?
Gosh, I don't know if I can pick anything up from it aside from just.
You want to try to harvest like something metaphysical from it?
Can I? Do you have any abilities that can help me do that?
I don't know. Well, I know you can like harvest emotions to a certain extent, so I didn't know if you wanted to do something along those lines.
It's true. Yeah, I wanted to do something along the lines of figuring out what it was trying to do, what it's, can I understand its motive kind of part.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, certainly. This is, so again, the Insidious is a level 6, as you're trying to understand it. It has no way to resist this at all. And so, oh no. So it has yeah, I think the fact that, yeah, so it's basically based by itself as a level 6. How do I say this properly? I don't know if I can. Oh God! I think I can only speak out of. This gets difficult when one. Okay. Ordinarily, okay, I've got it. I figured it out. Ordinarily, this would be a level 6. However, current circumstances, because it's like dead and is, you know, there's perhaps a lot more to be learned in its death throes. And there are certain other factors possibly going on right now that would render it effectively a 2 for your study of this right now. Is there anything you'd like to throw again? Anything additional you would like to bring against it?
I mean, aside from having understanding motives.
Yeah, that'll work, because that's exactly what you're trying to do here. So that'll be 1 or better.
I don't know if searching would help.
Searching? It's kind of right there.
These aren't magical creatures, right? They're just...
They kind of are, because they can do
lore help.
I do know that there was a type of lore that wasn't really helping much last time. I think now that it's in front of you, that probably would. So I mean, if you decide to employ that, then you'll just have it at this point, basically.
Yeah, let's do that.
If you want to do that, okay, yeah. So you don't necessarily have to roll at this point. So what are you trying to glean from it? It's motives?
Yeah. Like what it was trying to do. Possibly why it was trying to do it.
Gotcha. All right. So you kind of are like sort of examining this closely, and you're trying to get whatever vibes or remain from it as it is passing into the great beyond. Death working the way that it does in this world, which is death is not the ending necessarily. You are sort of gathering that this being, this is one of 12 that's currently around here anyway. It is it and its fellow beings. This was one of the and this was one of the members of the Royal Brood, so it was kind of trying to lead its fellows to a greater purpose. And it was the idea of trying to bring about a kind of change. Quite recently, its patron, you think you get a sense that it is tied to some larger being that has a very recent agenda, because this was a thing that this plan was put into place very quickly. I mean, within the past month, for these things to be in the position they are right now, for them to have progressed in their plan as much as they have at this point. Some of this is logic, some of this you're getting sort of like metaphysically. And it's, yeah, you're gathering that it's just being, yeah, you think its patron is just sort of drops it here, lets it do what it does, and what it does basically is to benefit, is to its patron's benefit, and it implants suggestions. You know this already, that it implants suggestions to channel the redivivus ice through Balok to the Sisterus Queen. And the ice is probably kind of important to whatever her plans are. And that, I think, is I think that's pretty much what you get, what you're gleaning from this, if that makes sense. So you kind of see, and a lot of this is stuff that perhaps, you know, it could be figured out sort of separately even, but you've got kind of the pattern of it now in your head. You kind of can see how their plan is unfolding. And that's basically, you know, plant suggestions for the you know, the town leaders and people who have stake in the mines, and, you know, initially, and then, you know, eventually, you know, doing what they do would involve spreading and taking over the whole freaking town. Eventually. I now also have a I'm sorry, did you have any questions further about that, or does that seem good?
Since mine's mostly emotion-ish based, I don't think I can get too much more than that.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, you're basically, you feel sort of as it perishes, it's just the feeling it had of like some sort of lost opportunity. It had some sort of opportunity it was trying to forge, and that was it. I have a question for Mac, and that is, what is the I sort of need to figure out what level Evelise is. Is it like the maximum level you can summon?
The maximum that he could summon back when he was on the train. And was it earlier than that? Yeah, I would say level 4.
Okay. The reason I needed to know that is because that's also kind of what we're looking at here. Okay. So interesting. Okay. I think that'll probably be sufficient for it to get this thing out of Grodin's head. Because Grodin doesn't have any special resistance, and is currently unconscious, and it's the one who set the suggestion has just perished. So these are all helpful factors. So, Mac, what you kind of will note that Iblis is doing is kind of doing this sort of spiritual... I need to figure out how to describe this. It's not exactly spiritual brain surgery because it's a jaguar.
Is it kind of like how sometimes cats will slide their paws underneath a door and scrabble around to try to pull something out?
That's very good, yes. I love that.
And it's doing it, but through Goodman's ear, possibly?
Yeah. That seems to be, yeah. That seems to be, yeah. It's like it's got one hand down on its on Grodin's face, and the other hand is like at the side of its head, and it's like, and Grodin is kind of like sort of shaking a bit because this is not as delicate, unfortunately, as surgery, but it's spiritual, so there's no physical damage.
Oh yeah, sure. And, I mean, it was either the jaguar or the hunt who could probably do it too. So,
the hunt probably would have, to be perfectly honest. The hunt would have been a little more scorched earth with it, probably.
Probably, yes.
But, yeah, essentially just like... ultimately, you see it like... And it pulls out this suggestion. It's not exactly an egg, because it's It's not really an egg. It's only metaphorically an egg. But what it pulls out is this sort of, spiritually, you see this kind of little sort of oval-shaped thing that it gets and is yanked out and just sort of looks to you for a second as though it's sort of pondering for a second what to do with it. Because it'll probably... It's ready to crush the thing, but it just sort of looks up before it'll do that. And if you kind of nod toward it, is that what it is, or no?
Oh, that's kind of nasty. Is there only one in there? We should probably just eliminate this one.
Smashes it. There's another jolt sort of from Grodin, and Grodin's like still unconscious, but sort of there's a sort of jolt and then sort of lies unconscious. And,
no. Only 2 more to go, I guess.
And I think this might be a good place to pan out, unless there's anything anyone else would like to get done right now. What do we think? I think the tour is finished. I think that's probably safe to say.
I mean, the tour guide.
It was a really successful tour.
It is. But now it's dark outside, right? The sun is set.
Oh yeah, the sun's down.
Are we going to finish on an ominous note? Is Mac just peering up and looking up at the sky, and then looking around at the rooftops, just pondering if this is Castlevania all over again?
Could be. Is there anything anyone else would like to take care of in this scene, or immediately afterward that we want to dive in? All right. So yes, you do. We pan away as you're looking, and you almost can sense there is, as darkness falls, there's this very light chittering across the town, as there are 11 more of these things left, and they're mad. And that, I think, is where we're going to close it for the evening. All right, folks. Well, that was excellent. You've managed to deal with one of the royal brood. You actually managed to get the suggestion out of Goodman Grodin, so we can see the after effects of that as we go into future sessions here. And I've been asked to award the audience a despair for the lack of any sort of egg recipe to have come out of this thing, and I can understand that, because this was a missed opportunity, I fear, to make a new to add a new recipe to the list. But alas, that's where it is. But there are always more suggestion eggs out there, so. Yeah. Perhaps the opportunity will come. We will see. In the meantime, though, we're going to go ahead and go around, and first off, we're going to do our joy and despair. I'm not going to forget this time. We're going to go around and do that in our regular order to see kind of what we're feeling for this session. So we're going to start with Djinnaya. Do you think that Shah got a joy or a despair today?
Shah totally gets a joy for both getting to nerd out about blacksmithing and striking like the best deal of the century. Yeah, she's so excited. She's so excited.
Excellent joy, awesome. Also, I just have to say, Arras has just written in the chat, omelette d'idée. Perfect name for that. And now, Wilde, did Shantano get like a joy or a despair today?
There's some joy. Maybe some carryover from last time. Yeah, just being able to see seeing the book about the guy and being able to pull the emotions out of the book.
Cool. Excellent. So you get a joy for that. And Arras, did Aroshka get a joy or a despair today?
I definitely think there's much joy going on today between successfully convincing Grodin to bite him. Nothing to do with me whatsoever. And offering a new friend that's a knife.
Yes! You have made a knife friend!
I made a friend too. Many friends.
Yes. Excellent. Yeah. I think we lost a few little bits of that, but I think we get the gist. But yeah, you definitely get a joy for that. And Anino, did Mac get a joy or a despair today?
Mac gets a joy because he was able to actually kill one of the royal brood with things that were on hand. And I believe that he's probably, just to make it even more interesting, I think he's going to have an angel arriving on an angel to bring coffee. Because we remember that Max got 2 angel friends. One of them was the one that was basically the chariot that they used to get around in the library. So I think that whatever angel comes to bring the coffee is going to be ferried over there by a most angelic chariot.
An angel riding an angel.
Yes.
That is badass. That works out. Awesome. Excellent. Angelic coffee delivered to you. That's going to get very interesting.
I'm curious if it changes my connection to angels. I only have one now, but I figure if I have coffee with them every morning, but I may have to spend another point for a connection of 2.
That could easily happen. That mine may soon become Angel Central. We'll have to find out what happens. Interesting, very interesting. Also, it's interesting also because it opens up so many questions in my head, like are there any side effects to angelic coffee, and what is that going to mean for if this means that more and more of the workforce of the Legion is pulled away? Are there any repercussions for that? It's just so much exciting stuff that could happen. And I'm delighted to explore all of it. But no, it's not. But it is an awesome idea. Angelic coffee. All right. Well, now let's go ahead and go around and do our outros. Feel free to tell folks where they can find you, plug anything you like, and tell us any final thoughts you had about the session or favorite moments or whatever. And we're going in reverse order, starting with Anino.
Oh, hi. My name's Anino. I don't have anything really to promote these days, but as far as today's session goes, I just find it really interesting how Aroshka's duality in characters, like pre and post, that whole gray thing. Like, I kind of wonder how Aroshka would have dealt with the book thing if it was the original one. I feel like it would have been very direct and possibly pulling out some sort of weapon. I don't know. I just find that very fascinating. I wonder how would older Roshka do with this?
Yeah.
Older Roshka was definitely a lot less nice.
You think
I just find it fascinating that new Roshka is very diplomatic and wants to be friends with everyone. But I'm like, what if older Roshka came back for this?
Yeah.
How much faster would we solve this mystery?
I am curious actually. But
what kind of device would we
Yeah.
to? And how much of the village would be left over?
Well, as we are heading over to Arras, do you have any thoughts about that? Any thoughts about what how Prior Aroshka would have tackled this situation?
Probably wouldn't have been pleasant for anyone involved.
Would do what with anyone involved? Internet. Cursed internet.
We will never know.
We will never know. Arras, can you hear us okay? Well, lasted as long as she could. Alas, alack. Hey. Hey.
There they are.
Hey. Well, before anything else goes horribly wrong, where can we find you, and any final thoughts about the session?
Hi, I'm Eris. I'm Anno there, Anno there, practically everywhere on the internet. I'm mostly on Twitter, where I'm gaming, cosplay. I'm also a zoologist. Ask me animal questions. I love to answer them. Right now, my podcast group, I don't know what to call us. The group that I produce podcasts for, Black Lilac Productions, is taking pitches for new shows. So if you have a show you think would be great for us, we mostly do like supernatural, horror, that kind of stuff. Drop me a line. On Twitter is fine. And that thoughts on this session. I really I'm so delighted that we have had such a successful first hunt for the bugs.
Excellent. Awesome. Was there anything else that you wanted to let us know, or are we good?
I don't think so. That was it. That's me.
Awesome. Awesome. All right. And now over to Wilde.
Yes, hello, I'm Wilde, at Wild Engineer on Twitch and Twitter. Aside from this, you could catch me tomorrow on Evisari's channel tomorrow morning for some bison. I don't know if it's going to be a last episode or not. I guess we'll find out. Yeah. I think today was nice. It was interesting watching Shaw just geek out over smithing. That's always fun. And having Mac just be the perfect, what do you call it, marksman with a knife. It's always fun. I was kind of wondering what would happen if I did get bit by the bug, but oh well. There's always time later to see what can.
There's always time for more more hypnotic suggestions from insects.
Would it even work? I mean, wouldn't I just split into pieces and then they'd be?
That's a good question, actually. You might be made of sterner stuff, depending on how this goes. Very cool.
Yeah.
Excellent. Very cool. Very cool. All right, and finally over to Djinnaya.
Hello, my name is Djinnaya. I make art and play good games with nice people, and you can find me on Twitter. And I have nothing to plug, so go be kind to somebody. Yeah, today was great. I kind of thought that was gonna. I was pretty impressed with how well that got handled. I had all of these. As soon as the bug was in the room, I had all this. Okay, and then we're gonna have to do this, and then we're gonna have to do this, and then we're gonna have to do this, and it was fine. And I'm very excited that Shaw is going to make more friends with angels, and I can't imagine that that's going to go poorly at all. Yeah, and I'm excited that I have an excuse to go make something now, too. So we need to figure out a time to do some development stuff so I can make it extra shiny.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. We will see how we are handling this. Is something you're going to do like in town here, or are you going to wait till you get back to Saturnine?
I don't know. I have to look at the book and see what I would need to have on hand. I mean, I figure it should probably, in honor of the way that the Mac and the knife met, it should be something having to do with accuracy for the increase. But so I just need to look at materials and see what I have. We'll figure it out. Yeah. I just like playing with the Maker's Matrix. It's complicated and fun.
Awesome. Excellent. Yeah, definitely. Let me know how you want to kind of tackle that, and we'll do things. Awesome. All right. Well, that leaves me, I think. Once again, I'm Jim Ryan. You can find me at OtherDoc on both Twitch and Twitter. My website is jim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. I have links down below to my website, Twitter, YouTube channel, and various other things. On this channel on Tuesday nights, we have our Urban Shadows campaign, Lex Talionis, set in present-day Rome. We're finally back. We're finally back with that, and on the final leg of our journey to finish that campaign out. They finally made it to the Versace party, and things are happening, and it is delightful. So very much looking forward to getting back to that. Tuesday night. On Wednesday night, if everyone's available, we're going to have, hopefully, what will be the finale of our Scum and Villainy campaign, Untitled Space Game, where we've been just going around in space annoying people. I think we're on the hunt for a strange comet. I think that's what's happening. So that's going to be awesome. And then, of course, on Saturdays, we come back around to this. And that is what is happening. There's a potential for more things in the works in the near future. We are slowly working some things out, and we shall see what happens. But in the meantime, what's going to happen? When we hit the end card, I'm going to send a raid over to somebody. I of course neglected to look over there until just now, so I haven't figured it out. But there are a few people who are doing stuff right now. Plot Hunters, Nerds with Dice are going on. Summer is doing something right now. There are a few people doing a few different things. And so I'm just going to sort of glance over and figure it out once we get to our end card. But we're going to go say hi to someone. Feel free to hang on if you are so inclined and say hi to them with us. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.